Good morning, beautiful Taurus. It's Mary Ellen. I'm here at beautiful, frozen Moonrise Cottage. For those of you that don't know, we've had some epic storms here. I suppose to ring in the new year and plunge us as deeply as possible into winter. I'm pleased to be here with you. I'm fussing around in the background. It is so cold here. I think last night it was 10 or 15 below zero, and that's going to continue for almost another week. So I'm glad to be here. There's been a little bit of delay because of the extreme weather. And Taurus, I am showing you this photograph of the spirit card that came out on the top of your reading this month. So I'm going to leave that up there for a minute. Let me transition over and say hello. Hi, everybody. I'm so glad to be here with you, and welcome. For anybody that's new, I'm thrilled to have you here. For the returning viewers, welcome back. What an amazing year 2017 was, and I'm very eager to talk about the messages that are coming through about this year going forward. So I'm going to toggle back and allow you to just gaze into that spirit message card that comes on the top of the reading while I do a couple of announcements. In 2018, there are going to be some exciting changes here at Moonrise Cottage. I have been given the green light from my spirit guides to go forward and expand some of my offerings. It's going to include distance healing. I'm going to be able now to do couples readings, love readings, transition readings, things like that. I'm also going to begin to offer my services as a medium. I will continue to use the cards for that, along with the channeled information. I'm going to make a video about all of that. For the moment, going forward, all the information about all the things, all the readings, all the consultations will continue to be below the video. So if you scroll down, you'll see the description box that YouTube puts there, a little bit of info that I put on, and you'll see the words show more in light gray text. If you click on that, it's a tab, and a giant box of information opens up. Everything you need is there. All the types of readings, all the pricing, my email address is way down at the bottom. The PayPal link to make your reservation is there, the time zone converter, etc. So there's a lot of information there, and I'm in the process of creating, at long last, a website in the hopes of making things simpler that hopefully will roll out by the end of January. For those of you that don't know, I'm a clairvoyant person. I started my YouTube channel almost a year ago on the guidance of spirit. I use the beautiful Celtic Wisdom Tarot cards. So Taurus, let's jump in. The message is coming from spirit this month about your reading. And it may end up being true with all the readings. There's your card. There's a little bit of review, a little bit of discussion about what came before, and some forecasting about the year. I thought about doing some readings that were just about the year ahead, and I decided I don't want to do that. Let's create life one step at a time as we go forward together. So this card has come out in several of the readings already as I've been recording for January. For you, Taurus, there has been a beautiful, lengthy journey that has gone on in 2017 about releasing you from the things that bind you and the battles that you have and the way in which you meet your battles, the way in which you perform. You know what? The word that's coming through is duty. Your duty as a spiritual warrior. And so there was a very deep shamanistic journey. And again, for those of you that are new, these messages build upon each other month on month. And there is a tapestry that has been created throughout 2017 as each of us as individuals has furthered our own journey, our own efforts to become more truly who we're meant to be in our individual set point under the light of our astrological assignment. So those of you who've been here know, and those of you who are new, please go and look at the readings from 2017, at least through from October through the end of the year. If you remember, there's this passage journey, and here we see the beautiful warrior of art standing on the ground in front of the passage tomb at Newgrange that is aligned with the sacred pyramids in Egypt. There's a lot of information online. Spirit wants you to go and look it up so that you understand the depth of this message for you and how much your, you know what, it's interesting. The word that's coming through is your choice, your sorry, there's a lot coming through. All right, so your involvement in your own evolution necessarily, as with any of us, right, affects your passage. And so Spirit wants to continue to speak with you about passage. The other thing that's true about this is, as you ended the year, you were perfecting your energy. You were getting ready to come through in a new way. And Spirit's basically saying, and you have arrived. Here you are, arriving into the new sacred ground of your set point, having gone through your own passage, having gone through all the portals of 2017, having gone through the solstice. The beautiful warrior of art has been completely transformed in the mystical realm and holds magic in his hands. It is beautiful male energy. No weapons, no shoes, no armaments, Spirit says. Do you see how activated at the throat chakra? And the energy that comes emanating from this person. So, beautiful male energy. I'm going to toggle back because the picture sometimes is better than the light here at Moonrise Cottage. Having arisen is what Spirit is saying. Your soul progress. Having arisen, coming through the portal, through the dark days, leading into the solstice, and arriving into the new year. This is the light, the Spirit theme that Spirit wants to speak with you about as we go forward into the days that are going to unfold. And I believe there's a reason that this card is chosen also because it shows this golden pathway leading from the passage tomb out through which you traveled clearly on the solstice. And in the October reading, Spirit is referencing that. If you haven't seen it, take a few minutes and go watch it. You'll understand more about your set point as a Taurus in these days, Spirit says. All right. So a lot of messaging in 2017 about battle and about the things that were binding you that are deeply ingrained in your nature, that were on the schedule, Spirit says, for change. And it's very interesting that it was a shamanistically led journey all year. And in these days, when you come to this place inside yourself, there is a very significant shift that is building upon the themes that came out in 2017. So this is the Spirit message, and the card that comes underneath that is your place in the light of that Spirit message, and there it is. I love it. Taurus, I'm very excited for you. We see this image of battle, courtship, and Spirit's talking about building upon the theme from last year. There's a lot of chatter coming through about that. All right, so I'm going to transition back. Look at that. The courtship of battle. And Spirit's talking about the foundation upon which you rest. In the background of this card, we can see this beautiful, warming hut and the fire in the background. Safety, home, hearth. And again, do you see that warrior? It's very interesting to me. Your battles in these moments are going to help pull you up into the firm ground of your new set point. So you heard me talk about this card last year. A lot, I think. This is a story about two warriors who were locked in battle to the death. This woman was betrothed to someone, and this male warrior, in the course of his duty, Spirit's talking a lot about duty, killed her beloved. Not with any malice. It was just what happened in the course of a battle. She also was a sacred warrior, and she put on her armaments, and she went out hell-bent, basically, to find him and kill him, to revenge her lover. So the story goes, they were locked in battle, and through this battle, they came into a courtship, if you will. They began to know each other. They began to respect each other. Affection began to grow. And Spirit's talking about the knowledge that came between the two of them as they engaged in this epic battle. So, in the end of the story, one puts the sword in the ground. Let me just toggle back so you can see it. And the other reaches out with the ballast of the sword and surrenders. They both surrender to the moment. So Spirit's talking about this is the process that you've been through. Internally with yourself, as you have come to balance. And I talked a lot last year about yin and yang and the bringing forward and the balancing of male and female energy inside each individual and here on the planet. That is the tapestry that has been woven. Spirit talked a lot about it, especially at the end of the year, that there was a sacred tapestry. And so Taurus, this month, and as a bedrock going forward into 2018, you are being told you have arrived. You have surrendered the part of yourself that does battle, that keeps you separate from the spirit realm and from those factors of yourself that would cause you to experience wholeness. And the promise of the warming hut and the fire, the Spirit always talks about hearth and home, in the background is that which is waiting for you. So, having come through 2018, you have arrived. It's a beautiful message to have arrived in this way, arrived into these places inside yourself and the places that have been created for you as you have joined with all the other souls that have created this tapestry going forward here into 2018. I'm very excited, and I know most of you are, to see what is going to unfold. So this is a beautiful way to start the year. I'm going to transition over, and I want to speak with you a little bit about your human walk, of course. So here you have had your passage. You are standing in the new place. And you know what? I actually have a picture loaded up from another reading. I'm going to show it to you. Spirit wants me to load that up. So the Warrior of Art has come, emerged. There's a lot of chatter about emerging and evolving. There's the Sacred Passage Tomb at New Grange that I visited in October of this year. And the Sacred Passageway at New Grange is directly aligned with the tiny, it looks about 1/3 of the size or less of New Grange, but it's actually in the interior chamber is much larger. The passage tomb at Fornox. Sorry, there's a lot of stream coming through. Spirit wants you to go look at that reading for October. You'll understand. I hesitate to go in that direction because it's a long discussion. Visually, if you look at these photographs after you're done watching the reading and you go and look at October and come back and just skip through this a little bit, Spirit says there's a message embedded in that for you. You will feel it in your heart chakra because you have emerged and you have surrendered to yourself and you are in the business now, Spirit says, of a new courtship, one that is meant to bring stability and continue the healing that you began on your human walk. So here in January, there's something very exciting as you walk through the month of January. There are the cards. The very first card is a major arcana card. It is the sacred renewer, and is the renewer of devotion. And so, as Spirit's been talking about with these cards that came out over the top, the purpose of this journey for you has been to renew your devotion. The other thing that's significant to me as a person who's a reader and a channeler and someone who has been to the sacred tomb at Newgrange and Fort Knox, Spirit wants me to show that to you again while I speak to you about the renewer. In each one of these places there are central chambers, and they each have an altar bowl. And in the altars, the remains of folks who had passed away were cremated and brought to the tombs and placed in the altar bowl in order to await their transition on the day of the solstice, in order to come through their spirit journey and evolve into the next phase of their development as they move on. So what happens for me, and those of you who've been here know, when there's a lot of information streaming, it also comes to me as a form of energy, and it streams into my heart. And Spirit is, I'm having a lot of human emotion arising because there's so much energy and coming through my heart chakra. Spirit is talking about the ability that you have evolved into to balance your energy, and the Spirit's talking about the size of your heart in order to be present in this world as a spirit warrior. Because you are a Taurus, it's your set point. There is a way to balance the energy that comes in through your heart chakra. And so in 2018, having been released from that shamanistic journey of 2017, the very first step is to acknowledge where you have been and the fact that you are in a place where the new courtship that you are going to experience as you do battle as the warrior of art is the renewal of your devotion. And that helps to deepen your compassion for the entire universe. And this is the point that Spirit was trying to make when speaking through me about the tapestry that is being woven. So as you surrender into the deeper aspects of yourself through the courtship of battle, under the light of the warrior of art, the creative way to meet and resolve conflict, whether it is internal or external. And you have to go through the passage tomb and lie in the sacred bowl in the altar. And clearly that is the message, Taurus. It's very sweet and very deep. You're being asked by the placement of this card. It is the first step on your human walk. And you're being asked to look deeply inside over the course of the entire year as you meet your challenges, as you go forward into your life. Where in your life is transformation imminent, not just necessary, but what is the growth that you feel coming from within you, having transformed and evolved through the solstice, through the passage tombs, in this way, and having emerged, standing in a new place. And so if we look at the very next card, that is the beautiful quest of art. And that will be your quest this year as you go forward into your day-to-day existence. You will feel this inside of you. Look at that. The beautiful quest of art. The salmon always returns to the source, Taurus. And you will discover yourself on this journey. I believe this is a prophecy for you this year. Coming forward, the types of discovery that you are going to make in your human existence are going to be aligned with this notion. Those are the words that are coming through from Spirit. And so, of course, the first step has to be the things that transpired in the end of 2017 coming through Spirit wants me to show you this picture again. There's a lot of messaging apparently coming through for you from these places. And you know what? Actually, I'm going to show you one other picture. Spirit's talking about the passage tomb. For those of you that are new, again, I'm urging you to go watch the videos from October 2017. Your reading was the first reading that came out inside this passage tomb. Actually, I take it back. I'm sorry, that's an error. It was the second. The point is, I went into the passage room, the door shut on its own once I got in there and got settled. When the readings were done, some other things were revealed to me. But one of the things that happened was a gust of wind came by and opened the door. And I looked up and, clearly in a state of awe, this is what I saw. And so for me, there was a revelation, like the things that are going to be revealed to you as you take this walk, this quest of the art of returning to the source and making the incredible discoveries that come along the way of that journey. And the very next card is another major arcana card. And, one of the things I love is the way in which the male energy in this card is portrayed as it relates to the rest of the reading. So if you look, I will show you the card, I will speak about it, but look at the lines that are developing as the reading unfolds. So we have the beautiful Decider. The Decider is the first card in the major arcana of this deck. It literally supports the evolution and the emergence of your spirit warriorship having come through the passage tomb. It is beautiful, sacred male energy that, in a sense, is balanced in this reading, being renewed, balanced with the female energy and with the childlike nature of discovery. So the Decider of Will is about developing your willpower toward a state of empowerment and initiative. Your desires going forward have been activated in a very powerful way, and at the root, Spirit's talking to me about the root chakra. So I think going forward in the month of January, as you go through the year, if you pray, if you meditate, I would meditate on that place, the place where security rests, the place that we connect to the earth, and have those experiences for yourself that mirror this and bring you to this place of source energy. Okay, so Spirit's now chattering on and on and on about Kundalini, and there are all kinds of things. So I'm going to continue on with the reading because I could easily get pulled into that discussion. That could take a whole hour. So maybe that's one of the topics we'll do on the live stream events. So, the Decider of Will sets the soul on its journey. And again, if you look at the placement with the Warrior of Art, the foundation through the quest of art that sits below the courtship of battle, both of them, we see beings emerging from the water. So there's a deep message for you there, Taurus, about your renewal, the renewal of your devotion, and the way in which your will has been activated and sent upon its journey, stepping onto the pathway of your destiny. And the Spirit question in the beautiful Decider of Will is has to do with what it is in your life that you feel is imminent to manifest. There's the beautiful Decider of Will. Gorgeous male energy, activated at the will center, holding abundance, holding the pine cone, the seeds of a new life, going forward. It's absolutely beautiful. I also love that the energy here is pink because Spirit's been talking a lot about your heart chakra and the way in which your energy goes forward. That is about new life. That is about new birth. It's very interesting to me the way this is coming out, because a similar theme came out for Aquarius. Very different cards because of the different set point energetically. For you, Taurus, the bull, forging ahead. This is about the way forward, very clearly, obviously, right? But the methodology that you will use and the internal resources that are available to you in this time, when you have this type of a journey on hand, Spirit says, for you going forward. Okay? So, and the other thing that I want to say about this card, there's one of the other cards, and it speaks to the universal mother. And this would be the universal male energy, the universal father, if you will. That is the great god Dagda of the Druids, shepherding your pathway, standing in the background as you develop this new place of empowerment and the type of will you have to go forward to create your destiny. So I'm going to toggle back. I'm going to show you. I want you to gaze into that a little bit as I load up the next card, because this is going to maybe blow your mind. It kind of blew my mind the way this all came out. This bridge card, the next card on the far left, for those of you that are new, has to do with the type of energy and the intention coming out of your human walk that begins to build the bridge forward to the spirit transition that is happening in a mirror image way in the heavens, if you will, is what Spirit is saying. And there's the card. That is another major arcana card. In traditional tarot, it is the death card. Here in Soul Tarot, that is the liberator. The liberator is clearly another form of passage. That is a beautiful Sheila Nagi. Again, I would urge you to go online and look up the meaning of that figure. These figures were found all over Europe, mostly in the places where the Celts were. No one knows where they came from. No one has been able to determine their exact meaning. They were found, many of them, carved into the south-facing wall of Christian churches that arose on many of the sacred ancient Celtic sites. Again, I could editorialize, but basically, if you look at that center line and the way it is connected to the human walk, there is sacred feminine energy, the way of passage. And it is the sacred feminine energy that is being pulled up from the river, having surrendered to this battle. There is a reckoning Spirit is talking about in the background, a great reckoning that is going forward. And vertically on the left side of this reading, we see the beautiful Renewer of Devotion. And this card, the Liberator, is actually the Liberator of Devotion. And the purpose of the Liberator of Devotion is to release your soul into unconditional love and liberation. So think about that. When we look at the cards on the bottom line, as you have been renewed and evolving through the solstice, emerging now into this place in January, with your renewal and your return through a quest to the source energy that feeds your life as a spiritual warrior. And in so doing, you come to this very powerful place of sacred male energy, bringing forward your will as a spirit warrior to go forward into your life and create that which is your destiny from this energetic set point. And by so doing, in your human walk, you liberate yourself fully into the nature of this devotion in order for your soul to understand the unconditional love that you have had the experience of having been revealed to you through the quest of art. the source energy. It liberates you and takes you forward into your spirit walk. So I'm going to transition. I'm going to show you the spirit cards. I want you to take a look especially at the left-hand line. The spirit line is what Spirit is telling me of these cards. So we have the Renewer of Devotion on the bottom left. Above that is the Liberator of Devotion. Above that is the card that would be aligned with the Star card in a traditional tarot deck. Here in Soul Tarot, that is the Dreamer of Growth. It is about sacred inspiration. It is about the ability to manifest. It is about your coming into yourself again in this very sacred way. So let me show you the card and we'll talk about that because this is a very profound reading, Taurus. And I'm a little choked up. There's just so much going on in this reading. Look at that. Spirit saying, do you see? Meaning, of course, do you understand? How profound your shift and change has been. And there you are, rooted deep into the tapestry of the knowledge that you have gained on this journey and the renewal that you have accomplished having come through into 2018. This is the Dreamer of Growth. You know what? That's why Spirit was talking about the root chakra, grounding yourself. I think the message is evolving that's coming through. It has to do with, please take some time to pray or meditate. Whatever way you do your sacred practices, understand that part of what needs to happen is to ground yourself. Imagine this image, I suppose, or something like it. Whatever speaks to you, Spirit always says, root yourself, your energy, when you are in prayer and meditation. Put your roots down and understand that you are destined to have a Kundalini awakening. That's what's coming through. It was coming in little bits and pieces, but now seeing this card, we understand, right? This is about the ability to manifest. I'm going to toggle back. I want to show it to you in concert with the other cards. So the Dreamer of Growth provides to you this necessary sort of dreamy space, so to speak, no pun intended, to discover yourself so that the healing that is destined for you can fully materialize and actualize. So again, look at the left-hand line of cards. The Renewer of Devotion, the Liberator of Devotion, and the Dreamer of Growth. You are going far this year. So obviously this is about January. It is clearly forecasting the journey of the Sacred Warrior that came on the top of the reading to announce. Spirit saying, okay, I'm going to transition back. Okay, so what's coming through is an announcement in paramount to, in the old days when there used to be sort of a person would come to the town square with a trumpet or whatever, and there was a scroll. Spirit says, it's like that. This is an announcement for you about your pathway going forward into 2018. Based on the work that you did, the basis of all you achieved in 2017. Going forward into 2018, this is going to be your mission as a spiritual warrior. That is why that card came out right over the top. So let's look again. Sitting right next to the Dreamer of Growth, that has everything to do with being able to come into a deep place of insight and inspiration. Again, more words about unconditional love, all right? Keeping yourself rooted in the faith that came to you through the spirit walk of 2017 and the release and your emergence through the passage tome. This is about looking forward, Spirit saying, looking forward in both directions. That's very interesting. There's another sort of message stream coming through, so I'm sure that'll pop all the way out. So you could expect to have very deep, intuitive knowings as you come into this part of yourself through 2018. You can expect to have very prophetic dreams. You should be focusing on your aspirations and widening your horizons. This also has to do with a period of rest. And you know, it's been coming through so far in every reading that I did. A period of rest. In January, understand, come into yourself, come into this place. Rest therein, Spirit says, and get comfortable there because you're going forward like the beautiful warrior of art. No shoes, no weapons. The power that you have within you to manifest and to create through your thoughts and through your heartfelt desires from source energy with the beautiful decider of will and all of this healing, all of this renewal, all of this liberation brings you into the next phase of your journey, which again, another major arcana card, beautiful Taurus. That is right next to the dreamer of growth. That is the beautiful keeper of harmony. Let me show you the card. Look at that. Do you see again another beautiful male deity? More pink coloration. This is about new growth and a new place of being. And there we see this beautiful torque as a sacred form of ancient jewelry and this strategy game, you know, akin to a chessboard. The keeper of harmony is able to understand life in such a way as to keep the strategy with which you perform your daily life in a place of central importance in order to provide, create, and maintain harmony from the basis of this beautiful male energy. It's incredible. And, you know, I know many of you out there might be women. Don't get hung up on that. I used to say that in the very beginning. Don't get hung up on male versus female. Understand there is an indication about balance and about shift and about change and about the type of energy. Spirit's telling me, we have set points because of our place of evolvement in our journey. Those barriers actually now socially here on the earth are beginning to break down, aren't they? And pretty soon we're not going to need that. Over time, as we evolve, those kinds of identifiers are going to become less and less necessary, apparently. And in these readings, Spirit wants to talk about the impact, the theory, the theme that these identifiers bring, and the fact that each of us has some of this inside of us. And most of us know that, right? The yin yang. The idea that we have source energy from the feminine perspective, from the male sacred perspective. And those things evolve into and out of each other, inside of ourselves, as we go forward into our development and we evolve and emerge. So let's look back at the cards and continue this beautiful, incredible story. The last card on the Spirit Walk is the beautiful Augury of Skill. And so there's the prophecy that I've been talking about, that Spirit's been talking with you about. So think about this. Spirit wants you to look at these cards and the way they have unfolded and the nature of this journey going forward into 2018, starting here in the month of January. The Augury of Skill is a literal prophecy. And again, beautiful sacred male energy, youthful, blue trousers having been transformed, right? Emerging with a new set of skills and the ability to send your efforts, your intentions, and your energies out into the world through that which has evolved inside of you in order to create this beautiful shining city with all of the passion that you possess and all of the power that you possess because of your set point as a Taurus, right? We all know that. Don't mess with a Taurus, right? So look at that. That is one of the most astounding readings I have ever seen, and believe me, I've done hundreds and hundreds, and maybe I always feel that way, but I get so inspired by the way these messages come forward from Spirit. The beautiful augury of skill, the way in which you have the ability now to go forward into your own life, and by so doing, having evolved. Look at the right-hand line of cards. We have the Decider of Will, a major arcana card, right on the bottom in the human walk. And in the center, having emerged, evolved and emerged is what Spirit's saying. We have the beautiful Warrior of Art. And there you are, in a place of newness, a youthful place, having been transformed. A prophecy about the way in which you go forward based on all of this amazing shift and change. And so Spirit's talking about repatterning, the way in which your internal set point has been repatterned in order to help you utilize your skills and the renewal of your devotion, your love and compassion for humanity, in order to create the beginning of something new, coming to a new enterprise. And the Star card, the Dreamer of Growth, on the very far left of the Spirit line, that which you can imagine, that which you can desire, that which your inspiration leads you to understand, brings you to a place of prophecy. And the first step that you take with so much enthusiasm and energy and joy for life, truly, to start a new journey. So let's look at the outcome card. I love it. You're going to love this. Check it out. That is the Judgment of Art. That is a beautiful card. It is, in a sense, self-explanatory, at least in my thought process. If you look at that photograph, you can see the Judgment of Art is about a vessel. So we're talking about you, but we're also talking about the human family, Spirit says. The Judgment of Art is about understanding that which gives life. Having had your desires satisfied, you turn within to see what still needs accomplishment. And so, as we come through, all of us together in this tapestry that's been, whoops, I'm holding it backwards, sorry. There's the card. It's incredibly beautiful. Look at that vessel, split down the middle. One half falls away because the base is unstable and the vessel is cracked. It cannot hold the water of life. Spirit wants me to hold this up for you. Hang on a second. You see that? Spirit says that's what we're talking about. The fact, I'm going to toggle back. So there's the card. I want you to see it really clearly. On the left-hand side of this card, you can see the triple spiral and the leaves of new growth and the ability to hold water, abundance, love, compassion, clarity. The left-hand side is completely stable, and that which no longer serves us dies and falls away. And so, Spirit's saying, that is the point of this prophecy. There is a new time emerging. I talked about it a lot last year. I'm really glad to see it showing up. I'm human. I always have my doubts too. And I thought, as all these messages are coming through and I'm saying all these things, I'm thinking part of me is thinking, boy, I hope that's true. But here we see it again. So I have no doubt. I have a lot of excitement. I'm going to toggle back. The beautiful Judgment of Art is about the process that it takes to turn within and understand what still needs accomplishing. And the fact that it comes sitting right next to the Warrior of Art, look at that center horizontal line in this reading. That is very deeply profound. standing next to the warrior of art, the judgment of what needs to be accomplished, and the fact that those accomplishments, the stable side of this vessel, standing aligned with the warrior of art, we know that this prophecy that came out in the augury of skill, in a sense, there is no doubt about the nature of your journey going forward and the ability with which your creative power begins to build something new while we allow the old to fall away. And Spirit's saying, remember in those moments to honor that which used to serve us. Bless it and release it and let it go, because there is new growth coming, without a doubt. Taurus, I've been talking a long time. I'm going to stop. I'm wishing you a beautiful, beautiful new year. I hope you had a wonderful holiday season, however you celebrate. And I'll be very much looking forward to unfolding this next sacred part of your journey as 2018 goes forward. And if one of my readers has reminded me just this morning, there is a super moon coming. I believe she told me it was the 1st of January. I'm so wrapped up in my little existence that often I'm not aware of those things until they're about to happen. So I'm passing that along. That's coming up to the top of my memory for some reason for you. I think because the Dreamer card is there, the Dreamer of Growth. So take your meditation, take your time, set your intentions. This is a moment when they can go forward and build upon all of the work that you've done and the place into which you have evolved and emerged in this way. So take a few minutes, take a look at these cards, take a look at each line vertically and horizontally, and Spirit always says, take a look at the diagonal lines that exist from the top to the bottom and understand the messages for yourself in the way that the energy comes through into your heart chakra. So I hope you have a wonderful month of January. Thank you so much for all your love and patience. I am filled with gratitude for all the love that has come in my direction while I have humbly tried to just be present in my own life and see what emerges from there. So I'm sending you all my love, Taurus. I hope you have a wonderful January. I'm sorry, I forgot to toggle back. I'm really looking forward to February. Namaste.